If the Dallas Cowboys and their fans hoped Joe Milton had suddenly become a competent quarterback in the 4 months since he joined the team, a 31-21 loss to the Los Angeles Rams in the preseason opener provided evidence to the contrary. Milton struggled enough in extensive action on August 9 that Bleacher Report's Mo Moton singled him out as the team's biggest loser following the first of 3 preseason games. Milton lit up the Rams' defense in joint practices, but Los Angeles' defense turned the tables on him Saturday, Moton wrote. The second-year signal caller completed 17 out of 29 passes for 143 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. He exited in the fourth quarter with an elbow injury. Milton's stat line could have been worse if Rams defenders hadn't dropped interceptions in the first half. He also overthrew receivers multiple times, trying to temper expectations for Milton. Whatever Cowboys fans think they're getting out of Milton, the truth is they're trying to develop him into a semi-competent backup quarterback at some point in the near future. That means someone who can come in and not lose games for them if and when starter Dak Prescott goes down with another injury. For as much dirt got shoveled on the Cowboys last season with Prescott out for the final 8 games, what might have been lost in all of that was that their backup quarterback, Cooper Rush, was actually pretty decent. In 8 starts last year, Rush went 4-4 with 1,840 passing yards, 12 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. That's solid. Rush played out a 2-year, $5 million contract he signed with the Cowboys before the 2023 season and signed a 2-year, $6.2 million contract with the Baltimore Ravens in March, 2 weeks before the Milton trade. If Cowboys tank, Milton might get his shot. The only scenario in which it seems plausible for the Cowboys to give Milton a shot at starting quarterback is if they completely go in the tank in 2025, which isn't out of the realm of possibility. Bleacher Report's Alex K. put the Cowboys at the top of his list of NFL teams who could be aggressive sellers at this year's trade deadline, code for teams who will be out of playoff contention by the mid-season mark. With Prescott heading into his age 32 season and coming off a hamstring injury that could lead to further regression, the Cowboys could be farther from a championship than ever, K wrote on June 24. Given how desperate ownership is to make it back to the biggest stage, it's been 3 decades since Dallas reached the NFC Championship game, let alone the Super Bowl, and a potential replacement for Prescott waiting in the wings in Joe Milton III. It may not be long before the Cowboys elect to initiate a roster overhaul. Milton needs to work on basic fundamentals. Dallas seemed to have more success when they kept things simple for Milton, as pointed out by Cowboys podcaster Dan Rogers on his official X account. I don't mind the Cowboys coaching staff allowing Joe Milton to come out firing. Let's see what he's got, Rogers wrote on August 10. But I did like it when they designed some easy stuff to build his confidence. It worked. His last 10 throws were all well-placed balls. It was a night and day difference. I don't mind the Cowboys coaching staff allowing Joe Milton to come out firing. Let's see what he's got. But I did like it when they designed some easy stuff to build his confidence. It worked. His last 10 throws were all well-placed balls. It was a night and day difference. The NFL world has almost universally put the onus on Jerry Jones for the Dallas Cowboys' lengthy Super Bowl drought. Yet Hall of Famer Emmitt Smith does not necessarily believe that to be so. Smith jumped to defend his former boss and the Cowboys owner/de facto GM and football czar in a recent interview with John Machota of The Athletic. What did Emmitt Smith say about Jerry Jones and the Cowboys' Super Bowl drought? Smith, of course, is the NFL's all-time leading rusher with 18,355 yards, 17,162 of which came in a Cowboys uniform. He also was a member of 3 Super Bowl champion teams in 1992, 1993, and 1995, each of which was governed by Jones. So even though Jones is the boss and common thread and accrued power and continued to meddle over the past 3 decades, which is both the Super Bowl drought and Dallas' league-long dry spell of even reaching the NFC Championship game, Smith feels any blame Jones gets is wrong. Jerry never caught a pass. He never ran the ball and he sure didn't throw it, Smith said. At some point players gotta take ownership of what they've been trained and what they've been taught to do. Smith cited the organizational dysfunction after coach Jimmy Johnson stepped down as Cowboys coach in 1994, which led them to fall short of the Super Bowl despite going 12-4 under Barry Switzer that year. "We had to do it," Smith said. "We went back-to-back, and then we lost our leader. We was in disarray for a year. But as the leadership of that ball club, we took it on ourselves to say this is what we're going to do." He then described how the team leaders, Smith, quarterback Troy Aikman, wide receiver Michael Irvin, and others, took command and carried Dallas to the championship in Super Bowl 30. "We don't care who is at the helm," Smith said. "Our systems are still the same. Our process is still the same. We know how to work. We've been trained how to work. So that foundation never left. Therefore, we were able to go back and win our third Super Bowl." What did Emmitt Smith say about Cowboys' current leadership? Though he didn't name any specific names, Smith clearly was calling out quarterback Dak Prescott, wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, game-wrecking edge Micah Parsons, and others who have not gotten the Cowboys over the hump in recent memory. "At some point, you as a player have to take ownership of your development into the leaders that you need to be," Smith said. "It's not all about you all the time. It's about bringing others with you, because you can't win by yourself." Each of the above-listed players has been caught up in a contract dispute with Jones and Dallas brass. Parsons recently requested a trade from the Cowboys since he is holding an over a contract extension from Dallas. Yet, those players are hardly alone, since there have been numerous players and leaders through the years that have not pushed Dallas to the promised land. "I wasn't drafted by them. I'm not their guy. Every day, I've got to prove it. People always say, he's got potential, but I want to be the product." These were the candid words of Breece Hall when asked about his future with the New York Jets. He's well aware that he doesn't fit the identity of this new regime. With no contract extension on the way, Hall is heading into what could be a lame duck year. For the Jets, allowing Hall to decline into free agency would mean losing him for nothing. It makes far more sense to trade him mid-season and recoup a draft pick rather than watch his value erode. Meanwhile, the Dallas Cowboys have cultivated a reputation, or at least fans believe, that they never fully commit to a championship pursuit. Some fans go as far as to say the team has enough talent but lacks the all-in mindset that defines contenders. That perception may be exaggerated, but it's clear the Cowboys would benefit from a bold move that signals serious intent for a title run. An internal competition at running back featuring Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams is respectable, but the idea of adding a running back entering his final contract year, like Breece Hall, could electrify the roster. Why the New York Jets make this Breece Hall trade? Hall himself said, "I'm around a new GM, new coaches, a lot of new faces. So for me, I've got to prove that I'm the guy every day. I feel like my skill set, I'm a three-down back and second to none to a lot of backs in the league." That mindset is precisely what a playoff-hungry team needs. This year appears to be a rebuild. A new head coach, new quarterback, fresh front office leadership. It's all in flux. The fanbase's belief in Justin Fields and the offense feels premature. Fields has never been a dominant passer. During his start stints with the Steelers, he only passed for over 200 yards in 2 of 6 starts. Relying heavily on him and playing a committee-style running back system while hoping for a playoff berth likely sets the Jets up for disappointment by mid-December. Instead, the Jets should be looking to the future. Backs like Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis are waiting in the wings. Why sign Hall to a 2 to 3 year extension at a premium rate when a fresh crop of talent can be developed affordably? The Jets' reluctance to offer an extension before the season starts speaks volumes about their long-term vision. Supporting this perspective, TWSN's Michael O'Hara highlighted Hall's upside. Hall took a slight step back when it came to his production in 2024, but he is still one of the premier dual-threat running backs in the NFL. Let's not forget that he had over 1,500 scrimmage yards in 2023 after returning from an ACL tear. Why would the Cowboys trade for Hall? Last season, Dallas leaned heavily on Rico Dowdle, and this year they've replaced him with free agents Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams, and rookie Jaden Blue. While all three are intriguing, none provides the established explosiveness that Hall brings. Sanders has struggled in Carolina. Williams looked sluggish with Denver, and Blue is still developing. Meanwhile, Hall has proven talent and untapped upside, still just 24 years old, playing behind one of the strongest defensive lines and surrounded by playmakers like an ascending CeeDee Lamb and a fully healthy Dak Prescott. Under Brian Schottenheimer's high-powered offensive system, which tends to yield over 4,000 passing yards from Prescott, Hall could thrive and add a dangerous layer to the offense. This isn't to diminish Blue, Sanders, or Williams, but rather to highlight the clashing realities. Hall's departure from the Jets could mirror Saquon Barkley's resurgence when he left the Giants for the Eagles. A change of scenery can be transformative. In summary, a midseason trade sending Hall to Dallas for a fourth-round pick gives both teams what they need. The Jets get a tangible return on a player they're unlikely to re-sign. The Cowboys get a dynamic, proven weapon who could change their offensive trajectory. It's a scenario that makes strategic sense for all involved.